High school football is back. This is ET Final Score.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to week number 3 of the East Texas high school football season. District play is getting oh so close for some teams now getting their first win. Also a big deal tonight for week 3, especially for the two big schools right here in Tyler, JT and Robert E. Lee. Hey, we want you to be a part of the show. It's pretty simple. Get on Twitter at ET Final Score. Send us your pictures, your Vine, score, stats, whatever you want to. Jeff Schaefer, Jay Wallace, and Trevor Peel all will be joining us throughout the next 30 minutes. Of course, we have to start with the big one right here in T-Town, the 60th meeting between JT and Lee. 31 wins for JT, 27 for Lee, and 1 tie. Now, unusual circumstance. Both teams 0-2 going into the game, so somebody was going to leave Rose Stadium tonight 0-3, and oh, what a great crowd on hand as always at Trinity Mother Frances Rose Stadium. Look at the two schools telling each other what they need to know. Early on, Tyreek Grayson opens it up right away. He scores a touchdown, 7-0. The Raider defense steps up. Bryson Smith grabbed and thrown down by Johnny Samples. Tyler Lee pumped up, and how about this guy right here? Tavon Wesley, another touchdown run by Garrett Grayson, 58 yards in that one, 14-0. Lee would make it even more. Tavon Wesley, the running game, spectacular. 79 yards, 21-0 Red Raiders. Are you kidding me? JT had to call a timeout and say, let's get it together, and the Super Junior does. Bryson Smith, he's so electric running the football. He scores 21-7, but here comes my man, Zach Hall, scrambling, crosses body. Ajuwan Barker, wide open, 28-7. Now, Martravius Allen scores for the Cujo right here, so that made it 28-14. So we got a ball game again, but back comes more. John Tyler, unbelievable. Another long touchdown from Duntavian Gross. It is 28-21. But craziest play of the night, Duntavian Thacker, handoff stumble, tosses it back to Zach Hall, who runs for the touchdown. 35-21 at the first half. Hall to Baker just before we get going, and it's 42-21. The scoring kept going as we check the board. Final score, 69-38. Blowout city. JT 0-3. Robert E. Lee goes into their bye week at 1-2 with their win over their crosstown rival. With more on this game, let's go back out to Rose Stadium where Jeff Schaefer was covering both JT and Lee all game long, and has your reaction to Lee's big win.
Eric, always a lot of excitement here at Rose Stadium. The Battle of Tyler between Robert E. Lee and John Tyler, and the Red Raiders come up with a victory for the second year in a row. I'm joined now by one of the young men who really helped the Raiders get things going early, Tyreek Grayson. Tyreek, talk to me about, you scored the first 2 touchdowns of this game. What's it like to get that momentum? How important is that early in this game?
We needed it, man. We always start off our games with all the momentum, and we finished it, really.
Yeah, talk to me about that. You know, last week, obviously, you start the game with momentum as well, but you didn't finish it. So what changed this week that allowed you guys to come out with the win?
More emotion. They are rivals, so we just had to. It gave our heart, really.
All right, perfect, Tyreek. Thank you so much. Congrats on the win. Now, another guy who played a role in this victory, Duntavian Thacker. Duntavian, first of all, talk to me. I want to talk about the second to last touchdown in the first half. You get the handoff, you stumble a little bit, but you're able to toss it back to Zach Hall. I mean, what's going through your head on a crazy play like that?
Well, like, Zach was back there by himself, and on the right side of the field was open, so I just tossed it to him. Everybody was directed towards me, so he was wide open. I just tossed it back.
Did you, I mean, the presence of mind, I mean, that's probably not anything you guys ever practice, is it?
Nah, I just straight up instincts.
Just talk to me about what the feeling's like right now, man. You know, you get your first win of the season, obviously, and to do it against your rivals from John Tyler.
Well, we see what we can do when we put 2 halves together. You see, the score was what, 69-38?
Yep.
So put two halves together. I'm just happy right now. Too excited.
You heard it from the guy they call Day Day. They put 2 halves together and they get a big win over John Tyler. Eric, big first victory of the season for the Robert E. Lee Red Raiders.
All right, great job, Jeff Schaefer right there, and how about Lee right there? We want to mention real quickly that Zach Hall left the game, the star quarterback, with a knee issue. We did talk to Coach Daryl Piskey. He says he's going to have it looked at first thing in the morning, so great win, but that would be very devastating right there. All right, the Battle on the Border Classic had 3 East Texas teams playing in it. Longview and Gladewater play tomorrow tomorrow. Tonight, the Lufkin Panthers taking on West Monroe from Louisiana. Lufkin came back from a 42-3 deficit last week to beat Robert E. Lee. We get to the Independence Bowl for this one. West Monroe start things off after they run through the big banner right there. Great job. And we got a lot of American flags tonight all over for 9/11 memorials. Good job right there. West Monroe defense right here. All three defensive linemen sack quarterback Cordell right there, and then goes down right there. Quarterback Cordell Rogers scrambling out of the pocket this time, looking. Oh, he's such a magician out there, but he goes down again. Leighton Garnett takes him down for the sack, but Cordell, we know one thing, this kid does not give up. Look how he moves, throws across his body. What a catch by Malik Jackson. That's a first down. More Rogers scrambling again. How does this guy do it? Looking, getting right through all those West Monroe players. He's going to keep it himself. Oh, man, that's a hard-working dude right there. That was a 20-yard gain, and West Monroe lines up for the touchdown to take the early lead. In fact, they would be up 14-0. Let's check to the scoreboard here in this one. Still going on because it's such a late start. 17-14, Lufkin trailing, but that's not always a bad thing, and a reason why, because Brandon Ogden, our good friend who helps us out a lot here on the ETFinalScore.com show, works down at the Lufkin Daily News. Brandon's on the phone with us. Brandon, I just said it. Being down at halftime, not a bad thing for Lufkin these days.
Yeah, it's not. It's actually 24-14 West Monroe. After Lufkin scored the late touchdown, West Monroe returned the kickoff all the way back into Lufkin territory and scored with 10 seconds left. So, they're down 24-14, but they were down 42-10 at halftime last week. So, Lufkin's not going to go away.
Brandon, we just showed a lot of highlights of Cordell Stewart, the fine quarterback for the Pack, running around like crazy. They've got to get him protected for the rest of this half, right? Yeah,
Cordell Rogers, he's done a really good job tonight. He's thrown for 97 yards and also ran for 62. Had a big 42-yard pickup earlier to, set up one of their scores. And, they were down 17-0 tonight, and they punted away. Looked like West Monroe was going to, try to take a bigger lead. And West Monroe muffed the punt. Savon Fields recovered, and Lufkin scored 2 straight touchdowns to get back in it. So,
all right, halftime, about to start third quarter, 24-14 West Monroe, right?
Yes, 24-14 West Monroe, and West Monroe will get the ball first in the third quarter.
Be safe, my man. It's a long drive for you. Hopefully you're getting to stay tonight.
Oh, yes, I am. Thanks for having me on.
All right, Brandon, good job. We'll be talking to you all throughout the season. Hey, big rivalry game right here. We all know this one, Van and Lindale. Let's get to the highlights down at Van Memorial Stadium. Early on, Connor Houston has a 7-0 lead for the Vandals, and look at this, a 3-0 lead, excuse me. They are going to work as Alfonso Thomas runs for a big gain right there. That sets up Connor Houston with the touchdown. It's 10-0 Vandals. Uh-oh. Coach Mike Metter calls the timeout and says, all right, guys, let's get the job done. His son is the quarterback, Montana. And look at him, just a little jump-off screen to Cameron St. Louis. And Cameron moves the change right there. Those two like each other so much, they're going to do it again on the other side. Metter all the way across his body. Sir Lewis scores. So the Eagles on the board, trailing 17-7. And then they do have this guy, Mr. Ryan Taylor, takes it on the left flip right there. Look at him going all the way untouched. What a fine touchdown. This one came down to the wire. Lindale holding on to win. What a ball game, 28-27. Congratulations to the Eagles. Over in Hallsville tonight, the Athens Hornets stepping out of Class 4A tonight to take on 5A Hallsville. The Cats had a big overtime win against NAC last weekend, so a lot of people don't think Athens can go in there and do it. Let's get to the highlights from Bobcat Stadium. The guys in purple all fired up and ready to go. And first up, it's quarterback Brandon Boyd dishing it to the Loganator, Logan Fuller. The big fullback takes it in for the touchdown. Hallsville had go to work on their next position as Roger McCullough runs it in for a touchdown. Bobcat scored 7-6 after a missed extra point right there. Trayvon Fuller now, he's active. Look at him for the nice gain. And then trying to go all the way around to the left side, cuts it back to the right side. Hard-working run right there. He would score a couple plays later. It was 13-6 at the half. As we check the board, upset city. Athens takes care of Hallsville. What a win for Coach Ushery and them as they get the victory there. Kilgore Pine Tree at Powered Stadium. Over the head of the Kilgore punter. That's going to be trouble right there. Tries to kick it out of bounds. rolls to the corner of their end zone. This one ruled a safety. Kilgore's lead down to 10-9. Later in the third quarter, Pine Tree puts the big boy Schaefer Russell in at quarterback and bulldozes his way for the nice first down. Pine Tree would miss their field goal attempt on that drive. Next possession, Patrick Jackson of Kilgore completes it to Colin Pippin. Nice play right there, efficient gain. The Bulldogs, though, pull away in this one, so maybe Kilgore's getting things done. They win it in Pine Tree. Coach Wood and company didn't have a very good start to the season, but they take it 30-9. Let's check in on Carthage and Knack from tonight. They're playing at Dragon Stadium. Another tight ball game. It's going to be Carthage coming away with a 3-point win, 30-25 your final in that one. Jacksonville, big win for them tonight as well as they take care of Jacksonville took care of Mount Pleasant tonight. That is, thank you guys, 41-28. And then White House, what a win for them. 66-14 up at Sulphur Springs tonight. Coach Cook said his guys woke up in that Chapel Hill game. I believe him. And speaking of the Independence Bowl where we saw the Lufkin highlights earlier, that's where Longview will be tomorrow night at 8 o'clock in their Saturday night game against C.E. Bird Shreveport, so it should be a good one right there. Break one is happening right now. That's just the start of week number 3. Still trying to fathom that 69-38 win by Robert E. Lee over JT. More highlights and scores coming up. We got Spring Hill, White Oak, Gilmer, Tatum. Also, you're looking live at our etfinalscore.com website. Scrolling through those scores left and right. We're back in 2 minutes with more.